I was at last year's home opener. First of all, it was in the middle of July. There were no fans to be found anywhere, just the occasional passerby. You fast forward 9 months later to today, we have the fans filing out right after the game on Utah Street behind me. You any good at basketball?
Maybe back in grade 8. I don't know. That was a long time ago.
We're going to find out right now, all right? Let's go. I'm actually losing. I'm definitely losing. Pretty exciting stuff, but I bet you're not as excited as this young man for the Pirates. Check this out. This is Lower Dauphin grad Deion Stafford. Let's see how many I can crank out. There's one. All the way down. He's all over me right now. The Hershey Bears would be playing host to the Wilkes-Barre Penguins on Saturday night, but the AHL season postponed. Thanks to modern technology, we're at least able to simulate through video games what this game just might have looked like. And if it had been played, it apparently would have been a doozy. Let's go to Giant Center. Packed to the gills for this one. Here at Citizens Bank Park in Philadelphia, the Phillies hosting the Atlanta Braves, and it's going to get a little noisy at times. It is tied at 2 in the bottom of the ninth, so the limited number of fans here getting treated for sure. McSorley obviously got banged up at some point in that first half. We don't know exactly what happened. You'd think a state champion would have stolen the show at last year's state wrestling championships. Instead, it was a fourth-place finisher, one of the Mid-State's own from Perry County. Now this Mustang standout is chasing much more than a gold medal this winter, and he continues to inspire every step of the way.
We're definitely not pushing back and getting that elbow up in front of us.
It's just another wrestling practice at West Perry High School. Junior Devin Jackson listens in, focused on making history.
I wanted to get 100 wins. That's right around when I came into high school. I was like, I got to get at least 30 or 25 wins every year.
And he's well on his way. But it's how he's doing it that makes this milestone incredible.
I like going out there and just wrestling. Like, that's one sport I can do and no one else can take it away from me.
Devin lost both of his legs from the tops of his shins down when he was 8 years old after battling bacterial meningitis.
Adam, come back the other way.
It didn't stop him from playing his favorite game, football, until he got older and realized it was harder to compete in prosthetics.
High school, I just did full-on wrestling.
Now, Devin's a menace on the mats, on pace to set the school's all-time wins record at 114.
It's one of those things where it's a goal and he knows he has to put in twice as much time as anybody else to achieve what he wants to.
And match day is where it all pays off. The focus, the nerves, the pacing, preparing for battle, looking on at his teammates as he hopes to get one win closer to the record. But Devin is so good, sometimes he doesn't get the chance.
The winner by technical ball is West Perry's Ashton Lay. Wrestling at 113 pounds. West Perry's Devin Jackson picks up the forfeit.
I was all pumped up, ready for this match, and then they just forfeit to me. It sucks, but you gotta get ready for the match, your next match.
For somebody who's had to grapple with a lot more than forfeits, getting himself ready again is nothing. He's undefeated on the year heading into this match, and it stays that way. A 6-0 decision is number 7 for Devin in 2021 and 71 for his career.
You can't put boundaries on that. You just can't. You can't say, I don't think he can't get there, because every time you think he can't get there, he goes ahead and does it. He doesn't have a boundary in his mind, and as long as he has that attitude and as long as he's willing to put in the time and the effort he does, you can't put boundaries.
His success seems impossible in a sport where legs play such an important role. But Devin's proof that you don't need legs to have a leg up on the competition. It's his head and his heart.
I just want to inspire people to, you can do anything in life. No one can say no to you. If you want to go out there and try out for football, go out there and try for football, or go out there and try out for wrestling. like give it like 100% and like never give up. Like that's basically my motto. Like going out there and pushing yourself. Keep going.
He has a 45-8 record, an astounding number since the beginning of his sophomore year. He says his goal is to wrestle in college, and I can't see how somebody wouldn't want an inspiring young man like him on his team. So, of course, best of luck to Devin. Guys, we'll send it back to you. Phillies baseball, perfect so far and actually historically great. 3 runs given up, the fewest for the club in its first 3 games since 1915. They're taking on the Mets tonight and trying to go 4-0 for just the 4th time ever. Let's just go to the 8th inning. The Mets chewing it over because they're about to blow the lead. 2-0, bases loaded. Bryce Harper plunked, and the Phils played their first run of the game, and they're not done. Now the score is tied. Alec Boehm trying to break it. Little grounder to third. Throw home. Dropped. And the catcher gets run over. We got 1 run, and there's Harper on his horses. He scores. The Phils take a 5-2 lead into the 9th. Something to jump about. But can the bullpen hold it? 5-3, winning run at the plate. It's Pete Alonso. Gives this one a ride deep to right. But Harper catches it at the wall, and the Phillies, some way, somehow, they win this one 5-3. Pirates taking on the Reds. Tie game. This is Nick Castellanos. He's about to serve a 2-game suspension, but he's actually playing tonight. Big moment. And he breaks the 2-all tie with a home run in the bottom of the 7th. It's not even close. It's way gone. Takes his time getting around the bases. People say he's kind of one of the bad boys of baseball, hence the suspension as well. Pirates wish maybe he was already serving it. They lose 5-3. The Orioles still undefeated, taking on the Yankees. The Yanks have owned the Orioles for a long time now, and Aaron Judge starts that back up again. Homer out to right. That short porch there in New York just gets out, and they're far from done. Giancarlo Stanton still wearing pinstripes and still tattooing baseballs. One of the farthest home runs of this young season. I don't even know if it landed. Somewhere in the tunnel, maybe? Orioles lose for the first time this year, 7-0. The Nationals finally hours away from their opening day, and some workout footage here. Their first time hitting the field in a while because of their COVID outbreak. 4 players have the virus, 7 more guys in quarantine, so it's been a rough few days to say the least. They're going to be the last team in the league to hit the field, and needless to say, they're pretty excited to do so.
We were waiting on tests, just a lot of it, what can we do? When can we go? And it was more importantly, when can we actually practice? When can we get together as a team? There was a amp to get, playing today, but we just didn't feel like that was going to be possible. We needed a couple workouts as a team to get going. And so that led to the decision to be able to play on Tuesday.
So they'll play 1 game tomorrow, and they'll also play a doubleheader on Wednesday. Now let's check out the scene in Texas, because this looks like 2 years ago, right? A full opening day at the new Globe Life Field, home of the Rangers. 38,000 tickets purchased, and look at it. It's like a whole different world out there. These aren't cardboard cutouts. These are seats filled with real humans. Beautiful new stadium, but we know things are starting to turn, but probably going to be a long time until we up here see this scene closer to us. The Flyers closed the month of March with an L, and they opened up April with a 3-2 overtime loss to the Islanders. Trying to right the ship up in Boston tonight. Going to need a comeback, down 2-1 in the 3rd. Sean Couturier fires one on net and somehow gets through. We're tied and we go to overtime. They need that. So here we are, 2 minutes to play. Bruins, shot stopped by Travis Sanheim. He's going to take it the other way. Patrice Bergeron just falls over, just how Coach drew it up. The Flyers in overtime, back on the wagon. What a finish, what a win. 3-2 is the final. National championship game, an absolute dud. Baylor's your national champs.
The kickoff is one of the most mundane and overlooked plays in all of football. But not at Mannheim Central, thanks to Jackson Brubaker.
He's just a little spark of positive energy. I mean, the team really revolves around him.
Go.
His work will never show up in a stat sheet, but the 9-year-old's impact on the Barons team is felt daily.
Oh, yeah.
He's listed as a team manager.
Basically, for practices, I am water boy, which means I give water to the players basically when they need it.
But friend is a more accurate description.
Hey, Jackson, rumor has it you have SoundCloud. Is it true?
Jackson isn't your average third grader. He was recently diagnosed with Saul Wilson syndrome, a condition affecting physical attributes, most notably stature. He is one of just 13 people in the entire world known to be living with the disorder. His younger brother Connor also has Saul Wilson.
In and out of appointments, lots of specialists, lots of doctors, lots of therapy.
This one, pretty much all of the ones are gone.
And lots of surgeries. He's the definition of toughness.
And he handles it with dignity and class, and he just handles himself very well for such a young kid. And it just makes you think, hey, if he can handle everything he has to endure, we can too.
Toughness is one of many lessons he's teaching the Barons. In his first season on the sideline, he is showing the value of friendship.
He just always has a smile on his face, always laughing, always having the time of his life. I really think he enjoys his time around us.
My favorite part is how the players treat me. Like, they treat me nice, they treat me how I want to be treated, and basically that just means a lot to me.
And Jackson means a lot to everybody who is lucky enough to get to meet him.
It's neat to watch people respond to him. He's the life of the party. He gets cheered running off the field with the tee. Like, who gets cheered for that? Jackson.
I've told him already, and I told his family, you're part of the Barron family, so I plan on him being here until he graduates and maybe even beyond, whatever Jackson wants.
Like any star on Friday nights, he calls the shots. In Mannheim, Damon Turbitt, ABC 27 Sports.
Well, we've all heard the phrase, if only I knew then what I know now. You think about what you've learned in your life and what you could have done if you had learned these things as a kid. Some kids, on occasion, just already have it figured out. I met one of those kids, a special youngster in Hershey.
The game of basketball is a blessing for Nate Boyd.
It's been a huge teacher for me, and I let the game become part of me.
Growing up on the streets of South Philadelphia, the game kept him out of trouble, leading him to the Milton Hershey basketball program.
Our team captain and just a kid that's shown tremendous improvement during his 4 years here. He's an incredible leader, and he's just a glue guy, one of the guys that keeps everyone else together.
He's a talent on the floor. That kind of jumps out, but Nate does his best work in a different lab. The high school senior is a paid research lab assistant at the Penn State Cancer Institute in Hershey.
We're working with a cancer line called triple negative, and it's one of the hardest to beat, and I knew what I was going to get out of it, and I knew what I could provide to the team.
He's now a very dependable worker who can provide support for the lab in almost any situation, as well as working largely independently.
I'm making something that I should be proud of and that people are being aware of. I don't do it for any type of recognition, so it's like I just go through and okay, you need this to be done, okay, you need to be done.
Adding to all of this, Nate is taking courses at Harrisburg Area Community College. The aspiring biomedical engineer already has over 20 college credits. From a kid just trying to stay out of trouble to a young man who can't stay away from success, humility is a constant.
It was nothing like looking at it forward thinking. It was just all of my right now and understanding that I'm having fun right now, so that's all that matters.
And as he leaps toward his future, he won't be leaving the game he loves in the past.
I'm losing a part of me if I lose basketball.